Hello everyone, welcome to another video. My name is Alex and today we're talking about Udyr. Now, I'll be honest, I've been spamming Udyr a lot, quite a bit. You know, every time I get jungle, I kind of just, I can't help it. He's really good. I mean, even after a few nerfs. The day of this recording, it is 11.7 and he has been nerfed. I will say, Turbo Chem Tank and his attack damage scaling has been nerfed, but he still sits at an S rank on most of the other, aggregate websites. And I do believe he's still a pretty great jungler, and he's not that hard. He's a pretty easy jungler to get the hang of, a little bit hard to master as far as, micro movements go. But other than that, I still think he's a great one to pick up if you enjoy running around and beating people with your bare hands. So without further ado, let's get started. But before that, please do hit the like button if you enjoyed this video, and leave a sub if you want to watch more of these videos, these guides. I also want to make other stuff in the future. I'm working on some more projects. Now that I'm kind of have more motivation now to start making other content. Now that I have, I don't know, I just have it. But anyway, without further ado, let's talk about Udyr's skills. Now, I want to preface beforehand that Udyr is one of those unique champions that isn't like anyone else. He's a little bit older, so he still has that kind of feeling that he's kind of an older champion. But without saying, he is one of the most unique champions in the game still. Like all the other ones I talk about, I prefer these kind of champions. He doesn't have an ultimate skill. Now that might sound weird, but he doesn't. He has 4 basic abilities. They all do different things, and they kind of give this kind of flowing combat style that Udyr has been well known for. Instead of an ultimate skill, you have a basic ability. Your R skill does something just like all the other abilities, and that's something you just got to get used to. He doesn't have anything grandiose about him, but there is other reasons to play him, and we'll get to that soon. But first, let's talk about Udyr's passive. Udyr's passive is called Monkey's Agility. Whenever you use any of his abilities, it gives him a stack of his passive up to 3 stacks. Each stack gives 10% bonus attack speed and 5 bonus movement speed. That's it. Gives him a lot of movement speed and extra attack speed to get off his abilities and his abilities passives, which we'll talk about next. His Q is called Tiger Stance. On cast, he gains 3 Tiger stacks and bonus attack speed. Each attack in Tiger Stance gives Tiger stacks, and on 3 of these stacks, Udyr deals bonus physical damage over 2 seconds and instantly dealing any remaining damage from the previous full stacks. Attack. Stacks attack. Attack stacks. 3 stacks attack. You know what I mean. You're gonna see there's kind of a pattern with Udyr's abilities. Every ability except his E does a similar thing where it gives you 3 stacks of that particular animal, I guess. Tiger Stance gives you tigers, Turtle Stance gives you turtles, and Phoenix Stance gives you birds! His W is called Turtle Stance. As we thought, on cast, Udyr gains 3 turtle stacks and a shield. Basic attacks give turtle stacks, and on 3 stacks, he heals himself for a percentage of missing health. Pretty simple, straightforward. The one thing I was at to mention with this ability, his shield does scale off of AP, so you're not going to get a lot of shield out of it, but it is a shield still. So there's not really any reason, there's never really a reason not to use it if you're in danger. It also gives you healing in mid-combat, so it's a useful ability to use. Don't count it out just yet. Now, the ability that Udyr is most well known for, his E, called Bear Stance. On cast, he gains bonus movement speed and ghosts himself, and that basically just means when you're ghosted, you can move through enemy units. That's about it. His basic attacks will stun enemies for 1 second. Now, that sounds really great. It's one of his main abilities. The thing is, you can't just spam his auto attacks to get stuns off all the time. Each target you hit with your Bear Stance, it has an internal CD. So for the next time they're stunned, you probably have to wait 3 seconds. I don't remember how long off the top of my head, about 3 seconds, 2 or 3 seconds to wait for the timer to tick off, and then you can hit them again with the stun. Also, I would like to mention a little tidbit about this ability. The Bear Stance actually gives you extra range on your auto. I think it's extra range, but also gives you kind of a small little reach and dash. It's very tiny, very unnoticeable, but it does happen. It actually is a tooltip in the ability. It gives you kind of a little reach. You can your bare arms kind of reach out and grab them. Bare hands. We're gonna make a lot of bear jokes. Be prepared. Disclaimer: bear jokes ahead. It's unbearable. God damn it. Oh man, I want to die. Lastly, his R is called Phoenix Stance. On cast, Udyr gains a fire aura for a few seconds that deals magic damage to enemies around him, and he gains 3 Phoenix stacks. 3 Phoenix stacks. Oh my god. Auto attacks give Phoenix stacks, and on 3 stacks, Udyr does a fire blast in a cone in front of him. This is going to be your main ability. That you're going to be leveling up. This is your main ability. We're going to be building the Phoenix Stance build, and a bit more of a tanky build than you used to go as an Udyr player. So Now speaking of build, depending on what kind of build you're going, you'd be taking different runes. Currently, my favorite rune to play with is Phase Rush. Like, I can't even say it enough. Phase Rush is one of my favorite runes in the game. If I could play with Phase Rush on every champion that I play, gosh, I would love it. But it just doesn't synergize with a lot of champions, but it does synergize heavily with Udyr. Now, it may be a meta rune. I get you. It's like, oh, Alex, you're doing your meta slate. Look, there's a good reason for it, all right? Movement speed is king when playing Udyr. Since you're not like a full tank, you don't have any sort of tank passives, you don't get passive magic resist or armor like Ornn or Poppy or anyone else. But you don't have any of those. And you're not a drain tank. You don't heal a lot. You heal a little bit, but not a lot. You're not like Vladimir or, you know, other drain tanks in the game. Udyr gets around and survives by running fast. He doesn't like to be anywhere for very long. You just move around a lot. That's what you're doing. And especially with the build we're running, having lots of movement speed is going to be important. You'll be taking all of the movement speed runes, all of them. You're taking Phase Rush, you'll be taking Celerity, you'll be taking Nimbus Cloak, you'll be taking Water Walking, all of those. And for secondary runes, you take Triumph as well as Alacrity or Tenacity. If you need more extra attack speed, you take Alacrity. If you need extra, well, Tenacity, you take Tenacity. If there's a lot of stuns on the enemy team, not knockups, because remember, knockups, Tenacity doesn't stop knockups, but it does stop stuns and immobilizing, things like that. If you want to not stand still for a long time, say there's a Morgana in the team, and you want to die of old age, take the Tenacity rune. We want to move fast, and we want the items to give us the fastness that we ask for. So we're building our mythic of choice, Turbo Int Tank, or Turbo Chem Tank, whichever one you want to call it. I see all these people running around with Turbo Chem Tank, and they just kind of run in and die. Like, come on, Now, the movement speed that it gives is just what Udyr needs. It gives him the ability to just get in there. He doesn't have a gap closer like Rek'Sai or Shaco or any of the other fancy junglers that can have like a million dashes. You are a bear. You freaking run fast. You know how fast the bear runs? Faster than your mom. Ha! Got him. But if you don't need to move around like Sonic if you're 100 pounds heavier, and there are more stuns on the enemy team, you don't have to build Chem Tank. You can build like Sunfire Cape, because it gives you a bunch of tenacity, and it's kind of useful if you just want to be in the middle of the fight. Also makes you a bit tankier, I guess, give you some auto attack damage, pulsing auras and stuff, kind of cool. But 99.99% of the time, you'll be getting Chem Tank. If you want to build some extra damage, usually around the 4th or 5th slot, definitely build Lich Bane, because it gives you more movement speed. You need that, but it also gives you some extra damage that you need, and AP to make your Phoenix Dance do a bit more damage. Udyr's not a mechanically difficult champion, but with Udyr, your clear speed is pretty fast. It's not faster or slower than anyone else. Everyone else is kind of in the jungle. Most junglers clear at the same speed. There are a few outliers, but most general junglers clear at the same speed. But you clear very efficiently, you heal really well, you can stay sustainable, and your Phoenix Dance kind of helps with that. I would suggest at first, if you're first starting out jungle or you first start playing Udyr, I suggest going for a full clear, get level 4, just take out all the camps. That gets you level 4, so you'll have all of your abilities, or you do a certain build. I tend to go, since we're talking about the Phoenix build, this is how I level up my skills in this order. I usually take 1 point in Tiger at first, because it's good damage in the early game, and it also gives you a bonus attack speed that you need to get more Phoenix Dance, like Fire Blasts off. 2 points in Phoenix and one in Bear. That's like level 4. So you have your stun, you have your damage, and that's all you really need early on. You'll probably level up, I suggest leveling up Phoenix, Bear, Turtle, and those are the ones in that order. You want the extra damage from Phoenix Dance, you want the extra movement speed from Bear Stance, and the extra shielding and healing from Turtle Stance. Now, gank as often as possible. You'll be clearing camps pretty quickly, especially as you gain more items. You'll have plenty of time to counter gank or do a sneaky dragon. Sneaking dragon is one of my favorite things. Like if you see the enemy jungler up top, they've tried to do a gank, and you're down bot side, go for that dragon clear. You do find soloing dragon like level 4, level 5, really easy. As long as you also try to keep pots and smite up for those things. Now, like I said before, and you should talk about ganking in this section as well. Ganking with Udyr is not super complicated. He himself is not a super complicated champion. Now, in general, Udyr has no mechanics really. However, to become a great Udyr requires you to know 2 things: kiting, and when to get the heck out of there. Dodging, kiting are the key to mastering our neighborhood bear man. Like, knowing when to go in and get out will make you seem like an Udyr god, just weaving in, dodging abilities left and right. You're like, but but make you seem like a god. And getting in bear stance on as many people as possible and getting the frick out of there, perfectly fine. That's kind of what you want to do in the midst of a fight, trying to stun as many opponents. Really good appealing since you have a click stun. Udyr is one of the few champions left in the game that has a click stun. Like, it's super powerful, and it's a full second. It's not like half a second. It's not like 3/4 of a second. It's a full second stun. So it's really powerful and really useful. Now remember, it does have an internal cooldown on each person you stun, but that doesn't mean by the time you get around to your bear stance again, if you're doing kind of the flow of combat, usually you start in bear, you hit them with the bear hands, you hit them with the phoenix stance, you go brah, and then you go tiger stance, go turtle stance, I am a turtle, and then you go bear stance again. By that time around, the timer will be gone, you can stun them again. And kind of the flow. That's what I'm talking about, the flow of combat. That's the great thing about Udyr. It feels so, you get in the flow and you start just running around and weaving in attacks and stuff like that. Feels really good and really fun. Now, the last section, we talk about matchups. Their jungle matchups are always weird. You're not like in lane where you're constantly fighting the enemy laner, and you're not like having to like do all sorts of calculations and stuff like that. The great thing about jungle is that you don't really have to pay much attention to the enemy laner jungler as much. You definitely want to track them, kind of know where they're going, be like, okay, they're here, and then you can kind of, you know, pounce on them with your bear claws, because you're pretty basic champion. Your only movement ability gives you movement speed, and anyone really who has dashes and stuff and things can kind of make it really hard for you. But in general, these are the kind of the 3 champions that make it difficult for Udyr. First one's not the worst. It's Nunu. He's not like, it's kind of a tricky thing. Nunu isn't the worst. You can definitely beat him. But the thing is that he's a really good tank. He's kind of a drain tank slash like, he's a CC machine. He has way more CC than you. He has the knock up and the immobilize, and he has the biting and eating and healing. And he has 2 smites with his Q, so it's hard to take objectives. He's just overall a pretty good ganker as well. He can multi-gank very efficiently because he can just come into mid, try to gank mid, go down to bot, come back to mid with his snowballs and everything. The snowball, the big snowball, just makes it so easy for him to just come in and try to gank, and it won't even make him behind. He can actually just get around so fast with the snowball. So be aware that he'll do a lot of ganking. Also, his E, when he throws the 3 snowballs, super annoying because it does slow you down. It's a slow, and like I said, slows on Udyr are very, very rough. Because you want to move fast, and you know, like I said before, percentages and all that jazz. Hecarim, obviously one of my top bans right now. Now he has been nerfed. I don't know. I think it's too soon to say. At the time of this recording, Hecarim is still pretty strong. He's probably still one of the top junglers in the game, and it's just rough. He outdamages you with his Q. He outclears you. He outganks you. He's really tricky to get a hold of because he moves faster than you. His E makes him way faster than you. He's really tricksy and get out of sticky situations with his E and his ultimate. He has a fear that lasts forever, lots of AoE damage, lots of healing as well from his W, and he's a horse. Just ban him. He's dangerous, don't stand behind him. He's a horse. Ban him. Now, my third ban is going to be Shaco. Shaco's really strong right now for a lot of different reasons, and I don't really ban him just because he's strong. I ban him because my team does not, I find that, I'm trying to make this not sound toxic as frick. People in general, I'm just talking about in general, this is the general sweeping thing, which is bad to do, but in general, people just don't understand how to deal with stealth champions, and it's just annoying. I definitely think, I really only ban him because my laners can't deal with invisible champions, and I feed him kills. So yeah, just that's kind of my main thing about Shaco right now. Oh, I will add one more to this list. Sorry, I said 3 before, gotta be 4. One more, because I forgot about Mundo. Purple frickin' heck of a man. He gets fed for no reason. No reason. He just gets fed. Every game, he's just, oh god. He's really tough to deal with if he gets ahead. He's unkillable, does a lot of damage, and it's a very similar build path to you, which means he is fast. He builds the turbo in tank, and he's fast, unkillable. His ultimate gives him speed and healing. Now, I'm not saying he's purple ban. You might have had a different experience playing against him. You'll think, oh, Mundo's the easiest champion fight. No. For me, for some reason, I can't deal with Mundo. And that's it. That is all I have to say about Udyr. Udyr's great. He's a lot of fun. He's a unique champion, and it's kind of like my MO right now. But that's not the only reason to play him. If you really enjoy moving fast, being kind of a dodge tank, I want to call him, like a kite tank. And you like to hit and run play style. If you enjoy Jin, I definitely think Udyr is kind of like similar in the fact that they're both hit and run champions. If you enjoy the play style, definitely pick him up. If you like kind of the flow of battle with his abilities and stuff like that, also a good reason to pick him up. And if you just want a kind of a simple jungler that isn't too hard to play, and he's easy to learn, hard to I'd say hard to master. Do let me know if you enjoyed this video by hitting the like button. If you want to watch more content of mine, please hit the sub button. It really helps out a lot. Leave a comment down below. I try to answer every single comment that I see. Some that I miss because I work. I need to keep the lights on. I'm not able to answer the comments at work, but I try to do my best answering comments and everything. Also, I'm gonna plug in shameless plug time. Please do come visit the stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/WrestleDaz. We hang out and have some fun. I stream 5 days a week, except Wednesdays and Thursdays. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you got this far, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Hope you enjoyed. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!